Hello, and welcome to another episode of CGN Live. This is actually the third time I've said that now. Had some snafus there. But thank you for joining me. My name is Taylor of Taylor Talks Comics, and I am your host for the evening. Try to let some people trickle in here for a minute. If you're in the chat, please say hello. Let me know how you're doing. Get my second screen. All right. And we are good there. Yes, this is Cheap Graphic Novels show. CGN Live, we do this once a week where we go over all the books, all the comics and graphic novels that we will have on sale starting next Monday. So this is the 10th, July 10th is when these books will be on sale that we talk about. A few things to get out of the way while people are trickling in. Again, please say hello. But you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CheapGN. And on Facebook, you can just search for Cheap Graphic Novels. And we have a weekly newsletter that goes out as well. You can subscribe to that. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But all of those things are different ways to make sure that you're keeping tabs on when we have sales going on, what books we have on sale, that sort of thing. So you want to make sure that you are following that because you don't want to miss out on any awesome sales for comics. And anything else? Oh, we had our July 4th sale that's still ongoing. Our Nick and Dent sale that we have live on the website at all times. Anytime we get some books that are just slightly damaged, we put them in there, and they're heavily discounted. We had that Nick and Dent sale going on for a while, but now they've been all discounted up to like 25% more than they've already been discounted. So there's a lot of good deals in there if you want to make sure you don't want to miss out on that. So make sure you hit our Nick and Dent sale up. And I think that's it. I think that's all the plugs and things I need to get out of the way before the show begins. I see a few people in the chat, though. Please say hello. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know what comic books you've been reading lately. And I don't know. But while you're doing that, while you're saying hello in the chat, I will pull up the website to show you. All right, let's make sure that this shows up on my second screen here. Sorry, my a little slow on the load here. All right, what we're looking at here is next week's books. So these will be on sale July 10th. They all say coming soon, but they'll say add to cart there in that little box whenever Monday hits. And again, you want to make sure you follow us on social media because there's not like a set time that they go on sale on Mondays. It's just whenever the staff over at CGN can get the books in and ready to go. And because we have some more deliveries coming in. A lot of the books we're talking about tonight actually are already in. Sorry. Max, who's the owner of CGN, he actually showed them off on Instagram Live this past, I think July 4th he did that. So if you want to take a look at what the books actually look like, because I don't have them in hand, make sure you go on our Instagram. It's still up there. It's still one of the posts up there where Max showed off some of the books. But they don't get all of them that early. I think it's the Diamond books. I think Image and some of the other Fantagraphics. I think those books come in on Monday morning, so they have to get them all ready. And then Max will shoot me a text on Monday evening whenever we need to, or whenever the books are ready to go, whenever you can order them. And I already had the post ready to go at that point. I have the picture, the graphic, and all the verbiage, so I can make that post immediately when they are ready to be purchased. So make sure you follow us on social media so you'll know the exact minute you can order the books we're talking about. So up first, we have a big time omnibus here. This is Superior Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 1. We have two cover options. This first one is by Joe Quesada, This is the direct market variant. The direct market variant, all that means is that this cover variant is exclusive to the direct market, which just means comic book shops. That's what the direct market is. And CGN is a comic book shop, so you can order this there. And then the standard edition cover will be the one that you can order anywhere: Amazon, Barnes Noble, and even your comic book shop. So this is the Dan Slott era. This is when Dr. Octopus swaps his mind with Peter Parker's body. And it says volume 1 on it. And I believe it says it even like on the book. It says volume 1. But this is not like the Dan Slott run of Spider-Man. This is just the Superior Spider-Man story. And that first big arc of that, which includes Amazing Spider-Man 698 through 700 and Superior Spider-Man 1 through 31 plus a couple annuals. That's all collected in here. The only reason it says volume 1 is because there is material where they revisited the Superior Spider-Man story later after the fact, and they can pad that out with the volume 2. But the whole first story is included in this book. This will be $74.99 if you order through Cheap Graphic Novels, because the cover price is $125. Take a look at the standard edition cover. That one is done by Ryan Stegman. Ryan Stegman, who just came off last year, the big, or maybe a couple years ago, I'm losing track of time, the big Venom run with Donny Cates. But before that, Ryan Stegman was doing some Spider-Man work, and he did this cover. And both covers are $74.99. So no difference in price. We have the World of Assassin's Creed Valhalla Deluxe hardcover slipcase. This is by Dark Horse Comics. Let's see. Trying to see if this is like this is like a coffee table book type deal, which has a lot of history of the Assassin's Creed lore, including Viking lore, and maybe some of the behind the scenes of that story. So it looks like a fun art book. That'd be $69.99, which is 30% off the cover price. We have a comment in the chat. Did we already do a free giveaway? What did I win? Yes, it already happened, and nobody responded. You're the first comment. I needed a comment in the first 10 minutes, Lohit, and you're the first comment in 11 minutes, so you missed it by 1 minute. Sorry. No, just kidding. No, we do not have a giveaway tonight, but that would be cool. Who doesn't love free comics? Thanks for joining me, by the way, Lohit. This is an awesome one. This is one I'm really excited about. This is Defenders Omnibus Volume 2. I have the first Omnibus, which I can show off if you want. But this one is exciting because this has all the Steve Gerber issues in it. This will be $59.99 if you order through CGN, which is 40% off the cover price. The first, the direct market cover is done by Gil Kane, which you can see here. This includes, well, it doesn't say what issues it includes, but it includes all of the Steve Gerber issues for sure, because, well, I wish I could say what this one ended on. I wonder if it says here. Oh, it does not. I'm going to look it up real fast because I'm really curious, actually. Because the Epic Collections, they've collected latter years of Defenders. Like they just now did release the first volume of the Defenders Epic Collections, but before that they released volume 6, 7, 8, and 9 were the already released. So the omnibuses and the Epic Collections are kind of like meeting in the middle, if you will. But let me see, Defenders. I'm looking up what issues are included because the solicitation did not say that on there. But bear with me. I know this isn't thrilling radio listening to this. Defenders. Oh my gosh, there's so many letter D omnibuses. Deadpool, Daredevil. Okay, here it is. To issue 51. So, oh wow, okay. Or no, 41, I'm sorry. Includes all the way at issue 41. So there's still quite a bit material because volume 6 of the Epic Collection starts off with issue 92. So you'd think that there might be 4 omnibuses before we even get to that volume 6 of the Epic Collections. which now that's not going to fit in my bookshelf. All right. I'm going to put it back there. I'll fix it later. All right. So this is the Al Milgrom cover, and this is the standard edition. Oh. Rats. He's upset that he missed it by 1 minute. Sorry. What can you do? It's going to be the 1961 Omnibus, too. All right. Then we have a Marvel Masterworks. We have a couple of them. Yes, okay. So up first, we have Captain America, Volume 15. We have two different cover versions. The first cover is the one that... So the Marvel Masterworks, when you get these types of covers, which are the DM, they label it by volume of like the entire Marvel Masterworks line. So if you're collecting every single Marvel Masterworks, you would know that this is going to be the 344th volume. And that'll be what's on the spine here. And this is $44.99. The standard edition cover, though, just labels on the spine based on the Captain America line. So it'll say volume 15 on the spine. And then like the outer edge design, like this more silver on this one. And the spine design even looks different beyond just the fact that it has the number different. But this is the Captain America era with Mike Zeck and J.M. DeMatteis. Includes issues 261 through 269, an annual, and Defenders 106. The aforementioned Defenders. I think that 106 might be in the book I just looked at. Yeah, it is. Interesting. Wonder what that entails. Let's see if I can find it real fast. The War to End All Wars is what it's called. Yep, it's got Captain America right there on the cover. So that's included in there. And that cover has a bunch of different artists, but J.M. DeMatteis is the writer. Which he was writing, I'm pretty sure he's writing the Defenders at that time, so that makes sense. Dan Morin is the greatest paperback man. Some call him Defender of the Non-Omni Hoarders. Yes, he is legendary in the lore of comic book collectors, and the fact that he only collects comic books by one format. It's got to be paperback. He will not allow a hardcover to be into his house. It's quite impressive, the commitment. We have a Remasterworks. So this is Marvel Masterworks, the Fantastic Four Volume 1. So it's being reprinted, but this is a Remasterworks. So they're going back and remastering the Masterworks. The Marvel Masterworks is supposed to be like the premier line of Marvel's collected editions. It's where they really touch up the artwork. They go over and make sure everything looks beautiful. And then those are the files they then use for Epic Collections and Omnibuses in the future. But since then, so the Marvel Masterworks line started in the late 80s. So it's been a long time. And since then, especially with these issues of Fantastic Four, Marvel has found a lot more of the original artwork and files and whatnot that they can use, that they can now touch up those and make it look even prettier and more pristine. This is the second of the Remasterworks, because this is, if you look at the DM cover, how I said it's labeled by volume number for the total collection, it says volume 2 over there. And that's because Amazing Spider-Man was actually the first Marvel Masterworks, and that was volume 1. And then, yeah, so this is the second of the Remasterworks, if that makes sense. Oh, we have another comment here. Kirby, POG. What's that mean? Pog? Point of, I don't know what that means. Is that something you young kids are saying? Pog. We had Pogs back in the day. You had like do you even know what Pogs are? You mean the chat know? Low, you probably know what Pogs are. They're like the little cardboard circles, and like you stacked them up, and you had a metal slammer. You slammed them down. It was a game the kids played. It was like marbles. I don't know. So here's the world of Assassin's Creed Valhalla hardcover. So we had a slipcase version that was $69.99. The non-slipcase version is $34.99. So same book probably in the inside, but the one comes with the slipcase and one does not. We got a comment here. Oh, it said, "Yep, I know what a I know you're Pog, but I don't know Wigan Pog." So you played Pogs as a kid, but Coley, I don't know what Kirby Pog means. I don't understand that lingo. We have a couple epic collections. Two, in fact, yes. One is the Star Wars Legends Epic Collection, Tales of the Jedi, Volume 3. That'll be $26.99. Then we have Daredevil Epic Collection, A Touch of Typhoid. And this is a new printing. This is the Anna Cinti and JRJR run, which is amazing. I'm really excited to get this because I missed out on the first printing. And I think we do have all the entirety of the Anna Cinti run in Epic Collections already. But I don't know if I have them all. So this collects 253 to 270. Okay. Yeah, so this is volume 13 of the Epic Collections. I'm actually still missing volume 15, so I need to get that too. But then I'll have the whole Anna Cinti run, and I'll be excited to be able to read through that because I love what I've read, but also JRJR is awesome, and I'm excited to read it for his artwork. And actually, on the Instagram live that Max did from, like I said, Max is the owner of CGN. I never heard this before. I've talked to him a bunch of times, but he said that JRJR is actually his all-time favorite comic book artist. I didn't know that, so that's really cool that we have that in common. Not that JRJR is not my favorite of all time, but I do like him a lot. I think he's a lot of fun. His artwork is just super, super great. But even his modern stuff, I think is great. But yeah, so it's cool to hear that that's his all-time favorite artist. Anna Cinti Typhoid Mary, only in epic format. It's true. It's true. We don't have an omnibus of Anna Cinti's run. And with Daredevil, I probably wouldn't upgrade if there was an omnibus. I think I have the volume 1 of the Daredevil omnibus. I need to get volume 2 in. Those will be my Silver Age ones. But everything else in Daredevil I have in epic collections. And I think I'll probably keep it that way. Even with the Frank Miller stuff, because I used to own the omnibuses, but I sold them. And whenever they get to that point in the Epic collections, though, with Frank Miller, I want the Epic collections because they're going to have any of the omitted issues. Like the omnibuses, there's a couple issues in there where they don't have them because Frank Miller didn't work on them. And I want everything. Then there's, in particular, there's one issue that Steve Ditko did, like a later Steve Ditko issue that was not in the Frank Miller omnibus. So yeah, for Daredevil, mostly epic collections. Here's a really good book. This is Doctor Strange by Donny Cates. It's a trade paperback. It's not labeled as complete collection, but it does have the complete run in there. Donny Cates did Doctor Strange 381 through 390, and then he had Doctor Strange Damnation 1 through 4. And this one's $23.99 if you order through CGN. And this is the run that follows Jason Aaron. So Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange actually is an omnibus format, but the Donny Cates run has only been released in, I think they probably had slim trades back in the day when those first came out, because that's what Marvel does whenever the runs are new. They do like those thin trades. But then they did an OHC of it that included all these issues that you see here. But that's been long out of print. So this is like the only way to read this. This is one of the I spent some time out of comics, and then when I came back into comics, I was hesitant at first to read any sort of more modern Big Two comics, just because I was so far behind on the continuity and whatnot. But this is one of the ones that I took a chance on, and I really, really enjoyed it. I was told at the time too that you can't read this really without reading Jason Aaron's run first, and at the time there was no omnibus, and the OHCs were out of print. So I was like, whatever, I got this book, I'm going to read it anyways. And I read it, and I didn't feel lost at all. I mean, there was like some things, because right at the beginning of this book, like Las Vegas has been destroyed, and I think Loki's like the Sorcerer Supreme. So I didn't see any of that happen because I didn't read the stuff that came out before it. But it's just one of those things that like you see it and then you just kind of go along with the ride. Every comic book run should start off with some sort of like a good jumping on point, if you will. I had the OC of Kate's Strange Damnation to tie into a Secret Empire. Yeah, and Secret Empire is a story I need to read as well. That's one of the big events that I missed out on that I would like to read. But Donny Cates Doctor Strange is really good. Offshore Lightning. This is a really cool book that I'm hearing a lot of people praise. It's from Drawn and Quarterly, which is a publisher that I love. And it's a manga. It's by Saito Nazuna, as the mangaka that does the writing and the artwork. And it says Nazuno Saito began making comics late. She was in her 40s when she submitted a story to a major Japanese publishing house and won an award for newcomers. Offshore Lightning collects Saito's early work as well as two recent graphic novellas, In Captivity and Solitary Death Building, both focused on aging and death. I think I'm sold on that. That's amazing. So she didn't publish her first comic book until she was in her 40s. That's super inspirational. $23.96 for this one. That's like the you got to keep the dream alive, you know. Just because they're not, you know, we all can't be Cap Yap or Joe Madureira who were drawing comics for Marvel Comics. We're drawing like big name X-Men comics when they were just out of high school, or even Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld was like 18, 19 when he was working for Marvel. Or maybe 1920, because he did Hawk and Dove before that, but still these young guys, you know, not everybody's that way. Some people need to have a late start. This one's, I didn't even know this was coming out. I just saw this, so I was looking at the books coming out for next week before the show. I didn't even know this was a thing, and I'm kind of surprised by that. But this is by Box Brown. He's the writer and artist, and it's He-Man Effect: How American Toy Makers Sold Your Childhood hardcover. Oh, it's a hardcover even. Well, that's even different for Box Brown. He normally he has. I'll read anything from Box Brown. He does these graphic novels, and he does them on such interesting subjects. So he did the Andre the Giant one. He did Andy Kaufman. He did the history of Tetris, which was awesome, and I love that book. And then the movie that was on Apple TV that has like what's his name, Adam something or other, is the main protagonist of the book or the movie. But that movie, I feel like, owes a lot to Box Brown because they kind of made it look like a thriller, if you will. And that's kind of how Box Brown really did his Tetris story. Like his Tetris comic reads like a thriller. It's amazing. You'd think like the making of Tetris, how can that be interesting? But Box Brown makes it interesting. So he did Andre the Giant, Andy Kaufman, Tetris. He did one on the legalization of marijuana. There's one I'm missing. Oh, and then he did one that was an original story. It was a fictional story, but it was like Child Star. What was that called? I don't have it handy. But I digress. Box Brown is amazing. I love anything he does. And I'm just going to read this. So Box Brown brings history and culture to life through his comics. In his next graphic novel, he unravels how marketing that targeted children in the 80s. And if anybody knows anything about the 80s and how those toys were marketed towards them, keep your eye on this. Powered by the advent of television and supercharged by the deregulation era of the 1980s, media companies and toy manufacturers joined forces to dominate the psyches of American children. But what are the consequences when developing brain is saturated with the same kind of marketing bombardment found in the Red Scare propaganda? And the He-Man Effect, Box Brown, shows us how corporate manipulation brought muscular, accessory-stuffed action figures to dizzying heights, bringing beloved brands like He-Man, Transformers, My Little Pony, and even Mickey Mouse himself into the spotlight. This will be $21.59 is put out by First Second Books, and that's going to be a must-read for me. Then we have the second fake death of Eddie Campbell, The Fate of the Artist. This is by IDW Publishing. Eddie Campbell, who's famous for From Hell with Alan Moore, but the breadth of his work, the more like he's put pen to paper for more pages with autobiographical books, and this looks to be kind of in line with that. But he's had like Alec and Bacchus. Those are released in nice slipcase hardcovers from IDW. And this is the latest. But it'd be $20.99. Oh, is a He-Man book like a Sheely book? I want to get it. Can you show some art? Oh, Taron Egerton. No, that's not. That's not who it is. That who it is? Maybe I was thinking of someone else. I was thinking from the guy from. No, I was mixing up shows. I think you're right. Oh, it's the same guy. Tetris book with. Yes, yes. With that, that's what Box Brown's artwork looks like. Let me actually look up. I wonder if look up some artwork. I'm sure Box Brown. He does a lot of his stuff on social media because his artwork and the style of storytelling really plays to like the Instagram panel by panel kind of thing. So it plays to that quite a bit. I'm trying to. Oh, there it is. I'm trying to do Instagram on my laptop, and it's a little weird. Normally, I only use it on my phone. Is he on? No, that's not right. Okay. He-Man. I'm just gonna look it up online. He-Man effect. Let me see. I need to see some interiors. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's on Box Brown's own website. Here, why don't I just share this tab instead, so you guys can all see what I'm looking at. Oh, he's going on a summer tour. Let's see if he's going anywhere close to me. Maybe I can meet the guy. No, he's not. Desert Island in Brooklyn. That shop, I went to that shop in New York, and it's awesome. I love that shop. So it's really cool that he's going there. But look at this poster that he did. Even has like the action figure arm broken off into his brain. The He-Man effect. Does it have? I'm trying to see. Dun, 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 dun. Hopefully this isn't like super boring for you guys. I was trying to find some. Here's his books that he did. Child Star. Yeah, it's just called Child Star. Okay. The Accidental Tsar, Vladimir Putin. I'm not familiar with that one. I didn't know that came out. And then Cannabis, the legalization of marijuana. Annie Kaufman, Tetris, Andre the Giant. That Tetris book, though, for real, like it's so good. Even if you don't like Tetris, who doesn't like Tetris? Dang it! There's no interiors. Oh, okay, you're just going to trust. Oh wait, no, it says take a look inside. Here we go. Here we go. All right, here's some interiors. So he's like this very cartoony style, but it reads so good. Like the way his storytelling is through the panels, like it reads, it flows. Like you're gonna not be able to put these books down. I promise. And he makes it exciting. Like how this is a story about action figures and He-Man. But look at this artwork. Like what's going on here? Yeah, so really cool stuff. Highly recommend that. I'm gonna go to this. Oh, did I stop sharing? What happened here? Oh, I am back on. Go back. That looks dope. I agree. I love Box Brown's work. And I'm telling you, like, I think it has something to do too with it's like one of those graphic novels that has like the same writer, same artist, and I think that helps the storytelling. But his storytelling, it just flows so well. I love it. So there's a He-Man effect, and then we did Eddie Campbell, and now we're on Royal City Compendium Volume 1. This was an interesting one that it's labeled as a volume 1. I have not seen what this book looks like. I don't know if it says, well, yeah, on the cover there it says Compendium 1. If that is the final cover, sometimes those change. But it's interesting because this includes all of the stories so far. Includes Royal City 1 through 14, which is all the issues that were included in the big oversized hardcover that we got a couple years ago. But Jeff Lemire has not done anything else to do with Royal City since. So I don't know if he's just labeling this one as volume 1 just in case, because he has publicly said that he wants to continue Royal City. But it's interesting that they're already had the forethought to say, like, yeah, we're just going to make this one volume 1, and then down the road, maybe 4 or 5 years from now, we'll get a volume 2. But this is Jeff Lemire. If you love Jeff Lemire's work, with like I do, and his artwork, he does the art and the writing, you're going to love this. If you're familiar with Essex County, Underwater Welder, Roughneck, Sweet Tooth, he's got a new series actually with Image starting next week called Fish Flies. And that was one of the new comic book day options this past year. Those Fish Flies. The first single issue comes out next week, so that's exciting too. He's doing the art and writing on that as well. But yeah, Jeff Lemire, it's very personal. The characters are all fleshed out. You're gonna feel something for each of them as they go on these journeys, these life journeys, and everything. He knows how to set the scene. It's really, really amazing stuff. But that one's $20.99. It includes all 14 issues of that first era, I guess, of Royal City. Then we have Powers, book 4 of the Powers series by Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Avon Oeming. This is they did this series in the early aughts, and it's been with a few different publishers. Like I think Image had it first, maybe, and then Marvel printed the Powers Omnibus even because this is a creator owned. Like Bendis and Oeming own this, and then they took it over to, I don't know where they took it after that. But now my point is that Bendis is back with Dark Horse. He has his own imprint there, which is a cool thing that Dark Horse is doing right now. They have imprints for a lot of different people. Like Eric Powell has brought Albatross Funny Books as an imprint to Dark Horse. Kevin Smith has an imprint there. Stan Sakai has an imprint there. Matt Kent. Matt Kent has Flux House. So they all have like these imprints now with Dark Horse, which is really cool. But this includes issues 1 through 18. Oh, so this is when they renumbered it, I guess. But it's a really fun series. It's like a police procedural series that focuses on the police officers, but in a world where there's like super powered beings. So if you like things like Gotham Central, it's kind of like that, but I kind of think it's a little bit better. It's like fleshed out more. You get to see more superpowers in action. Man in the Macintosh Suit, trade paperback. This is by Drawn and Quarterly, and Filipino American take on the Depression era noir, featuring mistaken identities, speakeasies, and lost love. When migrant farm worker Bobot's cousin writes claiming to have spotted his estranged wife in a nearby San Francisco, he swipes a coworker's favorite nightclub suit and heads to the big city to find her. What follows is a classic noir with seedy dives, mouthy pool sharks, and obsession. That sounds awesome. I love that era too, like just after the Roaring 20s, when you have like the 30s and the Depression era with the speakeasies and whatnot. John Carpenter's Night Terrors, Ushered Down. This is from Storm King Productions. Not familiar with that publisher. Writer is Jason Henderson, and their artist is Greg Scott. This is it's the 7th story in Storm King Comics anthology series, John Carpenter's Night Terrors. Okay, so they must have been doing this. This is the 7th story in the anthology. It's a horror anthology, so that's cool. Hulk, the first 60 years hardcover. This is like a coffee table book from Titan Comics, 1749 if you order through us. And this goes over the history of the first 60 years of the Hulk, who is celebrating his 60th anniversary. Quick Stops hardcover. Speaking of Kevin Smith and his imprint with Dark Horse, this is his latest collected edition. I think last week was when the first one came out. It was a trade paperback for Masquerade. Is that what it was called? But the writer on this is Kevin Smith himself. The artist is Jeremy Simser. Following on the heels of Clerks 3, the Askewniverse is expanding with Quick Stops, a black and white anthology series full of all new tales of retail from Jersey, the Jersey world of Kevin Smith's classic comedies. Has 4 never before told stories. And it's got characters in there from Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob. I want to read this, and I want to read a lot of those early stories. I love Kevin Smith movies. Chasing Amy is like one of my favorite movies ever. But in that first era of Kevin Smith in particular is great. Clerks and Mallrats and Chasing Amy, Dogma. But these early comics, I never read them. And one of the reasons why I don't want to read them is because Jim Mahfood, who's one of my favorite artists, a lot of his early work happened on those early Clerks comics. I need to pick those up. Hopefully, now that Kevin Smith has an imprint with Dark Horse, we'll start doing a full-on historical, like Marvel Epic Collection style of all of his comics. That'd be cool. This one's called Action Journalism, and it's from Oni Press. Eric Skillman is the writer. The artist is Miklos Felvidecki and various. 1649. Action Journalism's favorite intrepid reporter, Kate Kelly, is New Arcadia's most trusted source for hard-hitting news. Always on the hunt for the next exclusive scoop, Kate and her trusty team infiltrate alien fleets, mad scientist conventions, and fantasy kingdoms, all in search of the biggest story of the universe. This now I know what this is. I mean, I haven't read this, but I the premise is familiar to me now, and it sounds awesome. I have a journalism background. I love journalism, just like the practice of it, I guess. And so I love stories with journalism. Like I love Transmetropolitan's a great one. But this sounds fun because it's like aliens and fantasy and mad scientists. So I'm all in on that. Hailstone. This is from Dark Horse Publishing. Raphael Scavone and Raphael de la Torre are the writer and artist. This will be 1609. The isolated Montana town of Hailstone. Cut off from the outside world by a brutal winter, food is running low and people are going missing. Desperate townsfolk turn to Sheriff Denton Ross in the nearby military factory for help. So it's like a good isolated horror. It looks like a guy on a horse there on the cover there. Pretty cool. 8 Limbs graphic novel. This one's by Humanoids. Stephanie Phillips is the writer. The artist is Julia Lally. I probably butchered that. $15.99. Joanna, a retired Muay Thai champion, takes in a troubled foster teen, decides to train her until the teen lands herself in a dangerous situation, and Joanna must re-enter the ring to fight for her new family. So Stephanie Phillips, if you're not familiar, she's the writer on Harley Quinn for a little bit. But Humanoids is great. So I'm always willing to take a chance with them. This is a story I want to read. Lohit, if you're in the chat still, have you read this? I know you're up on the latest and greatest comics. But this is Suicide Squad Get Joker. Brian Azzarello is the writer, and the artist is Alex Maleev. Those two names have me interested in reading this. But this is $14.99, and this is the trade paperback version. And I believe this is like the squarish magazine sized Black Label books. But it says when Amanda Waller sets her sights on when Amanda Waller sets her sights on Batman's greatest foe, the Joker, she enlists former Robin, former Joker murderer Jason Todd to track him down and end his mad reign of terror. So Suicide Squad Get Joker includes all 3 issues in there. Okay. My second screen was freezing up there. DC Mech hardcover. So we had the Jurassic League earlier, came out a few months ago from Juan Gideon and Dana Warren Johnson. This is DC Mech, so it's another Elseworlds tale, but instead of dinosaurs, it's mech. Kenny Porter is the writer. Artist is Baldemar Rivas. Justice gets an upgrade. The age of the superhero ended after World War II, when an invasion from Darkseid and his parademons ushered in the age of the mech. The world has stockpiled colossal battle suits piloted by the elite warriors waiting for another invasion. So this includes DC Mech 1 through 6. Then we have James Tynion's latest. This is Wind, Book 3, Thrown in the Sky. James Tynion and Michael Dialinas. This has been getting a lot of praise, and I need to read it because I heard it's like a good all ages tale. But this is the third one, and these hardcovers I think all are also like smaller than standard size. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that'll be $14.99 for that one. It's good, like fantasy adventure story. We have Boogeyman, Volume 1. It's by Ablaze Publishing. Matthew Salvia and Dejet is the artist. Monsters don't only exist in children's minds. Passionate about reading, Elliot has always had the preference for stories of the boogeymen, those monstrous creatures which, at night, hide in the shadows or under the bed to frighten little children. All right, so collects the hit 6-issue series. It does say Volume 1 on it, though, so I wonder if they're going to do more. Star Wars Hyperspace Stories, Volume 1, Rebels and Resistance, trade paperback. That'll be $13.99. Past Tense. This will be $13.99 and is put out by Dark Horse as well. Jason McNamara is the writer. The artist is Alberto Massagia. Ashley is a tour guide at Past Tense, a company that sends camera drones into the past to view history's most depraved events. When Ashley discovers Silas Green, an unknown serial killer, working in the past, she begins hosting exclusive tours of his murders. That sounds intense. Or past tense. That's a lame joke. EC Archives, Vault of Horror, Volume 3. I love EC Comics. I've been collecting them in the hardcovers for Fantagraphics that are like the artist-centric ones. These collect each issue in chronological order. So this collects Vault of Horror issues 24 through 29. And these are in magazine-sized trade paperbacks, but they're nice. They look very nice. I have the first Creepy magazine trade paperback from Dark Horse, and I've read through it, and I can tell you that they are very nicely put together trade paperbacks. And I've seen these in the comic book shop. They look great, but they're only $13.99 though, for some of the best comics ever. 5 issues in there, and it's oversized. Definitely pick that up if you want to try out EC Comics. Dead Mall trade paperback. This is by Dark Horse as well. Adam Cesar and David Stoll is the artist. 5 teens sneak into the mall to take a last look around before it's gone, before it's demolished. However, while Penn Mills has been closed for years, the mall is far from abandoned. A night of exploration becomes a shopping spree from hell. The teens must contend with the sprawling, transformative cosmic horror of Penn Mills or be trapped forever in the Dead Mall. It has all 4 issues of the miniseries in there. Air Book 3. This is Dark Horse. G. Willow Wilson is the writer. M.K. Perker is the artist on that. $13.99. Resident Alien Volume 7, The Book of Love. $13.99 for that one. Minor Threats Volume 1. This is a series I've been wanting to read. It's Patton Oswalt is the writer with Jordan Bloom, and then Scott Hepburn is the artist. And it's the first creator-owned comic series from Patton Oswalt and Jordan Bloom, showrunners of Marvel's MODOK on Hulu, and superstar artist Scott Hepburn. Graphic crime drama about superheroes and villains and the last gasp of the colorful, innocent days of the Silver and Bronze Age before they dragged into the grit-soaked modern era. Has a whole 4-issue miniseries, but it's volume 1, I think, and I'm pretty sure that has continued. But Patton Oswalt, he's always like one of the celebrity. He always has blurbs on comic books. I'm pretty sure Patton Oswalt has a blurb on every single library edition of Black Hammer. But he's a longtime comic book fan, so it's cool to see him dive into the comic book medium as a writer. Then we have Arca trade paperback. This is from IDW Publishing with Van Jensen and Jesse Lonergan. Jesse Lonergan, who did the comic he did with Image. He's an awesome artist. Mm-hmm. What was it called? I'm trying to see here. And Paradise is one of them. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I was still muted. No audio. Thank you. Not just me. Sorry, guys. I appreciate that. Hey, Juan. How you doing, my man? No, I had myself muted when my son came in to say goodnight to me, and then I forgot to unmute it. I think the only thing you missed me talking about was I don't know. I kind of blew through the last couple. And Batman, Grimm, showed off just Jesse Lonergan's artwork. If you didn't see that, yes, Fantastic Four, Volume 1. This is the first one of Ryan North's series, and that's going to be including the first 6 issues. Then we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Rise of the TMNT Complete Adventures trade paperback. This one is the adaptation of the most recent animated series that came out on Nickelodeon. Matthew Manning is the writer, and Chad Thomas is the artist. $10.49 for this one. It includes includes issues 0 through 5, and then also the 3-issue miniseries. So it looks like 9 issues included in there. That could be fun. Mighty Marvel Masterworks Spider-Man Volume 4. So these are the digest sized of the Masterworks. They're like geared towards kids. And this concludes Ditko's run on Spider-Man, I believe. Yes. So all 4 volumes will give you the entirety of Steve Ditko's run on the Amazing Spider-Man. $9.59 for this. See, there's 2 different covers. The DM cover has the Steve Ditko issue, the famous cover there for issue 33, I believe. Is that 33? Yeah, I think it's issue 33. And then the standard issue cover is done by Romero. And then the last book Marvelverse Spider-Woman is also digest size. This is only $5.99. Carmine Infantino is listed on here. Did he do some Spider-Woman work? Holy crap. All right, so these Marvelverse books are kind of like a greatest hits slash good introduction to the characters. So they kind of collect stories from all different eras. They're good to hand to like a new comic book reader. Like, I want to get into Spider-Woman. Well, here's this book, and hand it to them, and they read this handful of issues, and they get into it, and then they want to go buy all the other books. Literally $5.99. Okay. Sorry about the audio issue there for a minute there, guys. Hopefully you didn't miss anything too important. That's it. That's all we have for the week. If you guys have any last questions, you can throw them in the chat while I go through my last plugs here. But don't forget the Nick and Dent July 4th sale still going on. All of our Nick and Dent books, we put through and discounted them even more. Some of them discounted even 25% more than their already discounted prices. So don't forget about that. Make sure you follow us on social media. Twitter and Instagram are at CheapGN. And then we got Facebook to search for Cheap Graphic Novels. You can read our weekly newsletter that's coming out every Monday, and make sure you subscribe to that as well. And give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Share the video with your friends. Let them know where you get all of your latest news about what books are coming out and whatnot. Oh, why is the Earth? Oh, sorry, the Earth is round. It's not round. It's flat. Just kidding. It's not. Face green smiling. Is that an emoji? I can't see that. Why is the Earth round? Because of, is it like gravity? Is that the reason? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I mean, like comic book related questions. Okay. Thank you for joining me. We'll be back next week for CGN Live. Probably on Thursday, usually at noon. Follow us on social media to find out. And keep reading comics.